Okay, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm all right. Carol, do you have a 10?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. So I'm gonna call to order the Town of Andover Board of Selectmen regular meeting for Monday, February 9th, 2026 at 7:01 p.m. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right. I'm going to start with public speak. Um, we'll start with Valerie Bruno.
Jeff?
Yeah, now you're
Yeah,
you
now
can.
you're. Sorry, I had a weak connection. I was just wondering, I would like to ask the board to make an addition to the agenda to, under the new business, to vote to change the protocol and remove my name as a co-signer on the general fund account.
Okay, is that it?
Okay, is that it? Yes, I'd like that to be an addition to see if you guys could vote during additions and deletions to add that to, I figured we could discuss it if it gets it added.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you put yourself on
All right,
mute?
can you put yourself on mute?
Okay, thank you. Diane Grenier.
All set, thank you.
Okay, Kathy Palazzi.
All set, thank you.
Okay, Kimberly Person.
All set, thank you.
Liz Lokech.
Hi. Sorry, I was trying to find a way to put my face on here. But things are locking up on me. I just wanted to mention that at our last Board of Finance meeting, we talked about the problem about there being a conflict on Wednesday night, a meeting conflict. I emailed you, Jeff, and the Board of Finance as well. Wednesday night was supposed to be our joint meeting, the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance, but there's also a Board of Ed meeting that night. And so I just wanted to know if there is a possibility of moving that to a different night, if that's something you could just chat about. I don't know if it's too late, but I think it's kind of important for everyone that wants to be able to attend both meetings. That's all.
Okay, Joanne Hebert.
All set, thank you.
Stephen King.
Nothing at this time.
Leanne Hutchinson.
Hi, I wanted to thank you and the new Public Works Director for the timely treatment and plowing of the roads. Obviously, we had a major storm and a couple of smaller storm events since your last meeting. So, from what I can see, including being on a particularly steep road, the roads were nicely done.
Okay, thank you. Did I miss anyone? Oh, Tess Grouse.
I'm all set, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Did I miss anyone else? Okay. Additions and changes to the agenda. Um, I have a couple. Uh, I would like to move 8K to the start of the meeting, right after the administrator's report, if possible. And then I would like to add an executive session to the end of the meeting. We'd call that one 15A. And that would be to discuss employee issue. I want to say it a different way. Want to discuss the town administrator interviewing process.
I'll second that.
Okay. Oh, well, before we do it,
I
Jeff,
have
Well,
something,
let's see.
I have something I'd like to add too. Sorry.
yeah. And one last thing, we do need to, I want to address Valerie's request. Well,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, we can make that 9.
yeah, well, 9E,
9E. Here.
9E, check signers, we'll call it. Discussion and action upon check signers. And check signers. And then we need to add 9F, discussion and action upon joint meeting with the Board of Finance. Okay, Jeff, what do you got?
You already took care of it.
Okay. Um, so we have move 8K, add a 15A executive session to discuss town administrator interview process. Add 9E discussions regarding checking account signers. And 9F discussion and action on joint Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen meeting.
I'll second that now.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Before I go on, does anybody else have anything? Carol, you good? Ann, you good? Scott, anything else?
Good.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion on the floor to move 8K, add 15A executive session, 9E on discussion on check signers, and 9F discussion on the joint Board of Finance and Board of Selectmen meeting. So we're going to vote. I'm going to go around. So Ann Creme?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Carol Lee?
Aye.
Jeff Murray?
All right.
Scott Person? Jeff McGuire? Aye. So that was 5-0 on a vote. Okay. All right. Let's get to the top of this. So appointments. We have in our packet we have on page 4, Library Board Directors reappointment request, Kathleen DeRosa's chairperson, Linda Fish, Lisa Kurtz, Sharon Shevchenko, Brandy Sadlowski, Jeff Ballard as the first alternate, Doris Maldonado Mendez as the second alternate, and Amy Ormolowski as the library director. Are we okay with reappointing all those members? Okay, can we just sit there and say it is a 5-0 vote? Okay. So library board reappointed 5-0. We have this is really not that we have to approve it. EDC met on Monday, January 19th at 7 o'clock. Roberta Doherty said she would like to join the EDC in the meeting in October. Roberta was unanimously voted on as a member. Elaine Burkhart swore her in. So Roberta Doherty is a member of the EDC committee right now. So and/or Sustainable Committee for 2025. So that is 5C. The members are for the Sustainable Committee are Elaine Buchart, Michael Burke, Michelle Lorenz, Michael Palazzi, and Kathy Palazzi, chairman. Can we sit there and say that that is confirmed by a 5-0 vote for those members?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. 5-0 vote on that. The Old Andover Burial Ground Committee, the reappointment of the members wishing to continue are Michael Kurdzo, Stephen Fish, Maria Tolman, Bob Post, Jim Harlow. And does anyone have any issue with those members being appointed? And can we do that also by a 5-0 vote?
Yes.
Okay, 5-0. Okay, so that goes through all the appointments. I did not see or know of any resignations that we have. And then we have the town administrator's report. I know that speaking to Jim, he was having some trouble with his new his location where he's currently at. So I'll go through this, and if you guys have any questions, you can sit there and ask. The town administrator's position, we had second interviews. They were just completed. We had a delay in one of the candidates. We finished that up on Friday, and then we're going to discuss that in our executive session. So, all right. The veteran grant program, there was a meeting with Jim, myself, Scott, and Christine Rendazzo related to the program. There is the documentation for the initial grant funding supplied to us by um, Senator Rahman is in process, and hopefully that gets done as quickly as possible so that we can sit there and make a payment on some of the playground equipment. Senior transportation grant. This needs to really go to the new project committee, and we need to discuss and have this vetted as to how we sit there and go about building this. So this is on hold for right now. The senior community center grant, the paperwork for the funding on the federal earmark is in process. So that one for 500,000. So we're trying to get the application out for the new generator system to hook up all three buildings, fire, town, senior community center. So that should be moving forward and getting done. Long Hill Bridge, the bid openings took place at the town hall on Thursday. I texted all of the members the bid documents, and I just want to make sure that I have the right date. Oh, did I text you? I texted you guys, right? There it is. Yep. So that was Tuesday of last week. We had we had 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 10 bids that came in for the project. We had um, 9 bids. We had one rejected bid because they were missing some seals. The bid was attended by Jim Bolano, members of the engineering firm, and myself and Kate Fuller. We had 9 sealed bids. All the bids were opened in public, were reviewed by the engineering team. The low bid was for $3,797,298.50 by a Trademark Contractors LLC. It was a very interesting process, the way it should be done. RFP was conducted, and all the bids were opened in public. And I filmed some of it to share with some of the other boards so they can actually see what it really should look like. Animal control, we're having some problems with animal control is something we're going to deal with in our budget. We had requested NECOG. NECOG told us that effectively they were going to terminate us at the end of this fiscal year coming up. They were not terminating Andover, they were going to terminate their services. They had a lot of pushback from their members. They wanted them to keep those services. So now there's an opportunity for us to keep it, but being a non-member of that unit, our rate would increase by 50% for animal control. So I have Jim looking at some other options. So this is something that we have to pay attention to make sure that we figure it out and don't try to let those costs increase too much. And when we go 50%, it's a difference between $13,000 or $15,000 and $22,000. So still less expensive than if we tried to do it ourselves, but more expensive than we want to pay. M&T Bank, we're working on that. That is something that we were on the phone today with M&T, trying to sit there and get all of um, uh, our access lined up for the new treasurer. So we're working on that. Hopefully we get all of that rectified for tomorrow so that we have appropriate access for everything. Public Works, obviously, as Leanne mentioned, did a very good job plowing the roads. It really is a problem for me that all these storms hit on the weekends. You know, it would be nice if they hit on a Tuesday, but they're hitting on weekends, and it's causing us to have some overtime issues that we'll have to sit there and work through. But they've done a very good job. They had an issue with salt. They got their salt deliveries. Eric has a full shed of salt, and he is sitting there working on making sure that he has it filled if in case we get a couple more storms at the end of the season. The town planner, we have a meeting. We have a meeting to an offer to participate with the Planning and Zoning Committee on the February 17th to review the POCD, and then there's a public hearing on that on March 17th. So it's something that everybody should take a look at. The Percy Cook Trail, I have to talk to Jim about this one. This grant was approved. I'm sure that he's looking for us to I have to get with him on this, so I'm just going to hold off on the Percy Cook Trail preliminary plan. I got to understand what he's asking for, and we'll come back to you next month. Was there a real problem with the transportation, Scott? Jeff, the hydraulic on that? No,
It was fixed.
it was fixed. All
Yeah.
right.
I didn't hear anything, so I
Okay.
wasn't there this weekend. I didn't go.
All right, Carol, any news on that or any update or you know anything about that?
I do
Okay.
not.
All right, we'll get with him on that. And then obviously because of the snowstorm and specifically because of the large amount of snow, there were a lot of mailboxes that were knocked down. And I'll sit there and I will apologize to the residents who had that issue happen, but it's something that happens within the process of plowing. If your mailbox is knocked down by the snow that the plow pushes forward. That is on the resident to repair the mailbox. If it's a mailbox that is hit by the truck, then it is on the town to repair that mailbox. I know that Jim fielded a significant number of residents discussing that issue with him, but it's something that we can't the town and the public works guys can't really control as to the amount of snow that's pushed off their plow and damages a mailbox. We know it's difficult, but there are protocols and precedents as to what has to happen and when. So again, if it's the snow that's shooting out and it knocks over your mailbox, that will fall on the resident's responsibility. And if it is the plow truck hitting your mailbox, then it falls on the town's responsibility. So, and we understand that we will have issues related to people complaining about that, and we'll handle them as best we possibly can. That's the town administrator's report for Jim. Anybody got any questions? All right. We're going to move to 8K, and that is on our agenda is discussion and possible action on schedule to review the 2026-2027 departmental budgets. On the call, we have Lisa Jablonski, our town treasurer. I have to thank Lisa for all the work that she's putting in to try to get us to a point where we're comfortable with where we're at within the system. There's been a lot of the transition was not as smooth as we would like. There's a lot of access that needed to be granted. We still have some IT issues that we're still trying to resolve. We have access to M&T Bank that we're trying to resolve. We have access to the stiff account that we're trying to resolve. So there are things that she's working on, and she's putting in extra time to get familiar with what we're doing. So I want to personally thank her because I've been dealing with her on all those issues to make sure that we try to get those taken care of as quickly as possible. So one of the things that Lisa's been working on, and I'll let her discuss, is she's been setting up a new budget spreadsheet so that everybody can sit there and have the same data. She and I'm also working with her to try to make sure that we present the same monthly data, and it's not in this package because we are having, like I said, access issues. It will be in next month's package. It will actually be to the Board of Finance first. So the goal is to have the Board of Finance at the end of the month see the information for the prior month. So At the end of the month, the Board of Finance would see the information from January, and then the Board of Selectmen would see the exact same information that the Board of Finance sees at our February meeting or our next month's meeting, so that we're all in alignment with the right information and how it lines up. So that is hopefully the goal and where we can get. And then I'll let Lisa talk. And the reason I moved her up is because I don't want her to have to sit on the entire meeting. I mean, she has to sit on the Board of Finance meeting, and she's gracious enough to come and talk with us. But when she does come and talk, I will plan on moving her up to the front of the line so that she can go and have dinner with her husband and do what she needs to do.
Potatoes are in the oven right now.
And I'll give you a little bit of feedback on Lisa. She plays rec basketball at Wyndham, so we might have to, Carol, you might have to start the women's basketball back up. So just letting you know that.
If you
Okay.
can see me in plain sight, my coach says, she said, put your hands up. She pointed to the feet all the way up to the top. And she goes, you've been given a gift, she says.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
as Jeff said, the different budget than you're used to. I'm used to that format. I think it gives you a lot of information right there on one page. I think I sent it to all of you last Thursday. I don't know if you have any questions. It is a draft, and I'm still getting information daily. Like we got the amount for the state police for the resident trooper. We got that, so we can add that in there. So I'm adding amounts daily that are more updated than what is in there. Does anybody have any questions on the budget that I sent last week so far? No. As Jeff said, we've been having access problems and we're working to try and get to that. It took quite some time today to try and get through to the bank, and we did get somewhere, but we're not done yet. And these things take hours, honestly, to get to. It's been hard to access QuickBooks. We're getting there. We've got half of that. The previous treasurer has not really been available to help with any of this. So it's been kind of like digging through it just to get to the bottom of it. And I'm just trying to organize what is there so that I can better present it to you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for the treasurer, or you want to go through any of the information that is presented in here from pages 22 down to 40? So this is a better presentation of the information that is in QuickBooks currently. It's not the right periods. I believe this was done by the assistant and provided to Kate before she left.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're also going to sit there and leave. We're going to discuss the budget. We don't need Lisa here unless well, we do. We'll actually leave you here. So the budget, and as we go through this, we as a group need to sit there and determine if there are any departments that we want to sit there and focus on and how we want to move forward with those departments. The one department that we really do have to discuss is going to be the senior center and the community center. We need to understand what our plan is related to that budget line item and what funding we want to sit there and make available for the community center, whether we want to sit there and add staff, whether we want to add software, and how we want to sit there and go about that. So we all have to prepare for that one because that is one of the departments that is still new and still growing, and we have to figure out how we want to position it for the rest of the town as we go forward. Are there any issues that we should ask Lisa to sit there and do work for us on so that we're prepared to sit there and come and deal with the Board of Finance as to what we want to sit there and move forward with?
I know we can't forget to fund the Percy Cook Trail engineering. We didn't fund it last year. We have to fund it this year. And I thought Eric said it was like $48,000.
I mean, Scott, when that one's on this thing, that grant was approved at town meeting.
But the engineering wasn't.
The
The money for
engineering.
the engineering,
Okay.
as I remember, but I could be wrong.
All right. We'll have to sit there and look at that one. All right. Um, are
Say,
there any other? Go ahead, Dan.
I did not really look closely at that, what Lisa sent us last week, because I didn't think those numbers were in there yet. Are they, I mean, I didn't know how much of that was really gonna be in the budget for next year, so I just looked at the layout and nothing else. Those are numbers that will be used or what?
Well, you start from the prior year and then you add when you have additions or deletions.
Yeah.
So we're really starting from our prior year and then we're
Okay.
going to go through with what we need to do. I mean, we all need to sit there and, I mean, listen, our biggest issues are capital and making sure that we understand how we want to sit there and allocate the capital that town has available for its various projects. Um, so that will be important. And listen, we've done a pretty good job of saving money. Most of what we've done from capital is not a one-time transaction, really. We've been saving to do larger projects. And those are the things that we have to determine how much money we're looking to save and where we're looking at going. But we all as members need to look at that, and Lisa will fill it in as she has it, and then as things adjust, she will adjust it. Now, it's more of
Okay.
a working document for the Board of Finance
Mm.
than it truly is for us. We just have
Right.
to sit there and go, this is our direction that we want to go in, and this is what we're going to recommend that the Board of Finance look at it.
Okay.
The question ends up being for us is, are we going to, um, what is the increase, if any, that we're going to sit there and put forward to the Board of Finance? And that really
I'll
has
look
to be the
through it more
issue. Now,
carefully then.
I will sit there and tell you, the Board of Finance last year um, didn't have an enviable task, but what they did is they cut the town services. And my hope is that we can sit there and manage to provide some increases in specific areas. And if we can find ways to sit there and reduce the overall budget by cutting in other areas, we should try to do that. But it's a working document for the Board of Finance, and it's more of the Board of Selectmen wants to sit there and move in this direction, and this is the recommendation from the board who sets the priorities. So,
And just so you
Right there.
know, the
Yeah.
all the columns are up to date and are the actual columns except for that last budget column. So the 23, 24, 24, 25, those are actual figures that will stay.
Yeah. Okay.
And even this year and last year's budget and then to date, those are all up to date. It's only that final column that's not completely filled in.
Yeah. It looks like it's been, erased and added to and that kind of thing. So I didn't know how that worked. At least in my copy of it, it looks like that.
Oh,
That's
I
probably
don't,
just
my copy's not like that. There's no adding or,
Did
I'm
you
not-
I mean-
did you send a PDF or you sent a PDF?
no, I
right?
sent a PDF,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a PDF. Yeah.
So
What
it's
do you
just
mean?
printing.
Yeah,
It's
added or
printed.
deleted.
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay.
not.
Well, I'll go back and look at it
That's
some
a
more then.
shaded area. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing erased or anything. It's shaded.
Shaded. That's what it was. Because
Yeah, yeah.
it looks different. That's what it was. I'll try to see if I can print this
Okay.
because I can't read it on the phone.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions for Lisa before we let her go have dinner? Okay. Lisa, if no one else has any questions, thank you very much for participating and thank you for putting in the extra time to get organized.
Thank you,
Okay,
Lisa.
You're
Right.
welcome, and I promise it will get better. It's like Jeff said, we're just trying to get our hands around it, and without the previous person here, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right. We're going to move on to item 8. So discuss and act upon 8A, review the status of the veteran field improvement. It was discussed in the town administrator's report. we're moving forward to sit there and make those adjustments. Christine Randazzo, honestly, has been, we're really lucky to have her engaged in this. She really cares. Um, she's done a very good job along with Scott to sit there and move that program along. It's a question now of just making sure. So the funding mechanism, the steep grant is in place, and that has multiple years. The money that we were awarded related to the recreational project from Senator Rahman we need to just make sure that we're on top of that, and Jim has been on top of that, so that should be all good to go. The garage 8B, review the senior transportation garage status. That was also in the packet. That's something that Jeff Murray and I met with the engineering team from Jeff refresh the state program. Anyway,
Millennium?
no, not Millennium. It escapes me. It's a state program that Eric sat there.
EZIQ?
Yeah, that one.
Good. Yep.
So we talked to them. We have to make some adjustments to that whole project, sit there and make it more beneficial for the town. And we're probably going to have to sit there and go to a town meeting on that one to sit there and make sure that it gets done properly. But we'll sit there and get to it. Long Hill project, the bids went out. You know that one. The status of the Percy Cook Trail preliminary plan. We have to get back on that one and understand where we're at. So Scott, if you and I can sit there and do that, that would be great. Status of the animals control 8E, we talked about that. That is something that we're going to have to decide for this budget purposes. We're going to put in the money for CROG and sit there and see where that pushes us, but that's going to be an increase on that line item, so we're going to try to not do that. 8F, status of the corrective action plan for the audit ending June 30th, 2024. That has been submitted. I have a call with the auditor tomorrow, so I'll make sure that everything is good on that as well, but I think that can come off for next month. I think we're good. 8G, discussion and possible action on the AAS RFP for the bathroom renovation. I know that this is on the agenda for the school board tomorrow. No, I'm just saying it, and this is me saying it out loud in public. If this does not go to RFP, I'm not gonna sit there and be supportive of this, and I'm gonna make sure that it's done in the best interest of the town and the community. So
Correction, Jeff, Wednesday.
Wednesday, sorry, my bad, Wednesday. But it needs to go to an appropriate RFP, not I'm gonna bring in two vendors from a convention for the Board of Ed members, and I'm going to have them give me numbers. That's not acceptable from my end. So, and I'm one vote, so that's all I'm going to be. Anyway, anybody else have anything else they want to add to the AASRFP?
No, I'm just frustrated. I'm very frustrated with the whole progress of the project.
Okay. Discussion and 8H, discussion and possible action on the Hop River Home contract. Kate is actually on vacation. We do have in our packet on page, oh, we really have meeting minutes. We need to review that. I want to sit there and review that with Kate and get an understanding of what it's going to do to Kate and number wise, but it is something that we're going to have to decide if we renew or not. Anyway, I don't think it's imperative that we do it right now, but it is imperative that we sit there and give them an answer. So I actually think it's I got to look at the agreement. I know we did a 3-year number. I got to sit there and see exactly when it was put in place. And I know we have a document someplace that was signed between the town and the management group on the Hop River Homes. So I'll have to find that, bring that to the next meeting, and we can sit there and discuss that more at our next meeting. I'm a little disappointed in this one. I know we probably had between 7 and 10. And Jeff, do you know the number of people that applied for this? I know there were more than
I
three
thought
or
there was at
four.
least six, but I haven't seen any letters of interest or anything. I was hoping it would make the packet.
I was hoping it would make the packet, and I did not look at the packet until early this morning, so it was not there. And Kate, I believe, got some of them, and we're gonna have to sit there and see what Roberta got. What I'll do, and I will send out a text tomorrow with the names and who has coming on. And honestly, on this project review committee, all the applicants can be there. Anyone that wants to be on that committee that has any kind of construction or engineering or any kind of trade related experience, and they can add value to this. It will help the town run these projects in the most efficient manner and in the best interest of the town. So anybody who wants to participate, don't think that there's a deadline on applicants. At any point in time, someone can sit there and be added to this committee. But I'll get you the names. I'll get them out to you tomorrow.
Yeah, Jeff, can we get those scanned in and sent to us? Because if we're missing some skill sets like electrical, mechanical, civil, I'd like to try to recruit some more people in those certain areas that we're going to be a little light in.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I will sit there and get that done tomorrow. If the only hesitation I have, Jeff, is that they're on Kate's emails.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
if we
know.
can
I mean,
spend that on-
I know Kate put it on her email in the ad, so it might have to wait until she gets back from vacation.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna be able to appoint anybody, it sounds like, till next meeting anyway.
Mhm.
So I would like to have another 30 days to make sure that we fill that board with a good mix of people.
Yep, no problem. I'll make sure that gets done. 8J, a discussion and possible action on the establishment of a town job description review committee. I want to push this to the next meeting, and the reason why is because if we do appoint a new town administrator, I want them on this committee, running this committee, to make sure that they understand what all the employees do within the town and to manage the creation or the updating of the job descriptions that are currently in hand, because there is a folder that Herrick has and Jim I reviewed with that has all job descriptions for a lot of the town positions. And I'll also make sure that those all go out to all the members of the board so everybody can sit there and see what the current job descriptions are out there. And then hopefully this committee can be established to assist a new town administrator when we can sit there and get someone appointed. So, anybody have a problem with that? Okay. 8K, we did that previously. Um, we're going to move on to item 9, new business. Discuss the act upon the following. 9A, discuss and possible action on professional assistance to the assessor's office. I spoke to the assessor today, so I'll tell you what we've done in the last couple weeks. Scott Person went and communicated to the Bolton assessor and asked the Bolton assessor if she might be able to assist in the issues related to the assessor's office. Scott, I went and communicated directly with QDS. QDS is the company that provides the software for the assessor's office and the tax collector's office. I sent you earlier, right before the meeting, a proposal from QDS. That proposal. So Scott had gotten a proposal from the assessor in Bolton at a $75 an hour rate. That rate subsequently increased to $110 an hour for the Bolton assessor. The agreement with QDS started higher, but it ended up at $100 an hour. QDS obviously understands all of the software issues, and I spoke to John today, and what John would like is John would rather have and believes that QDS will be able to sit there and input the necessary personal property tax returns. We have about 325 personal property tax returns that need to get input into the QDS software system so that we can properly bill the personal property taxes, and it needs to get done by the end of the month. We also need to update um, the motor vehicle taxes, and that gets done by a file that is downloaded from the Department of Motor Vehicle. And there seems, as of today, to be a problem with that. It doesn't appear that the assessor's office downloaded that file, and that file has been removed from the Department of Motor Vehicle site. So um, John is working to sit there and get a new file created. And once that's done, QDS can actually sit there and do that from their offices in Waterbury. John is going to work on all of the real estate adjustments that need to be made. And hopefully we can get this whole thing wrapped up by the end of the month. So what I would like to do is make a motion that we
Can
I'd
I
like to
just say something? I know that you said
Sure.
that the Bolton assessor is 110 an hour,
Mhm,
but QDS is 100 an hour plus
mhm.
$100 a day for travel. How many
Mhm.
hours are they going to be working in the assessor's office? Because if they're not working 10 hours a day, they're more than 110 an hour. And if we had,
I'm sure it will end up being 8 hours because the town hall's not open. So
right, we're open
so
7.5
so
at the
the
most.
issue, Carol, ends up being that um, I want John to use all of the resources available to do this as quickly as possible. He wants to sit there and uh, he wants to and listen, I would sit there. I sat there and said they could do all this from their facility in Waterbury. I would sit there and if it was me, Carol, I would move all the personal property tax returns down there to Waterbury and let them do it and do it as quickly as possible. So there's no excuses as to what we're dealing with here. So if it's the question of, and this is the other part about it, I don't know the assessor and what her skill level is with the software, right? That's not what Scott and I were asking for. Scott and I were trying to reduce the crazy fee that was being bandied about for the other individuals that were being initially proposed to us, right?
Okay.
So Scott's Scott doing his job went and tried to find somebody that would give us a better rate, and I sat there and I went to the software company because I have some relationships with some of the management people there, and those are I mean, the first proposal, honestly, from QDS was higher. And honestly, they were higher because I would sit there and say, they're higher. I don't even want to get into it. So I requested that they reduce it, and they reduced it by $25 an hour. I mean, we can avoid all the travel if we'll allow the personal property taxes to go to their office in Waterbury.
Okay, and the only thing that is 125 an hour is the limited real estate assistance on the vision appraisal software,
Mhm.
which is 125 an hour, but it's $100 every day
Well,
for
if they travel up here, so here was the thing. QDS provides um, training, and part of this was going to be that they were going to train the new staff person.
right.
Right?
I saw that, but there it's limited training.
Well,
At least it looks limited, 2 days on the QDS products on site, and then data entry 1 day for the vision.
well, no, they don't even know what they're walking into, honestly, the QDS people, because they didn't, they knew that they had to do some data input on the uh, motor vehicle side, and their focus was on anything that dealt with their software, what touched their software. So what touches their software is the Department of Motor Vehicle and the motor vehicle um, uh, input and the personal property the way that I understand that the real estate works is the real estate information needs to go into Vision, and then Vision information gets dumped into QDS, and the tax return, the tax bills are prepared, and then the information gets into the tax collector's software so that it can be collected. What they were saying is they're not experts in vision, so they don't want to really do the vision work. That's the work that John should be doing between now and the end of the month so that the grand list can go out. And all of the other work, the work that relates directly into the direct input into QDS, is the QDS staff people could do it because they're trained on those softwares. So the question is, and I asked this question, Carol, because quite honestly, I sat there when I was talking to John, I'm like, John, why can't we just take the personal property taxes to them? And his concern was if they leave the office and something happens to them, then it's another problem. I'm not the
Okay.
assessor. I'm only trying to sit there and manage this to the correct solution.
Okay, and I have another question. Could you, now you said the motor vehicle, something happened and the motor vehicle from DMV was deleted from our system? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
not from our system. We did not download it initially. And then when John was going in to download it, it was now gone from the DMV site. So he's been working with DMV to get the file recreated.
So because we were late in going in to download that DMV file, we no longer can go in and download it in a nice and easy way, is what you're
No,
saying.
it just I'm not sure how the system works, Carol, but what I would envision is they send you an email, you have access into their site, you can download the file. If you don't go in and download it, it should stay there. Like DMV should not be removing our listing of vehicles,
So
they're all there.
DMV,
They have to recreate. What I'm being told is they have to recreate the file so that we can download a new file, the same information, and go do the work. It's a question now of does he get it done timely? But John is working on that.
and are we the only town that this happened to?
I have no idea.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I asked him if it happened to Colchester and he said no. But then again, I think he downloaded the information from Colchester as soon as he got the email.
Okay.
That was my take. That's how I took it. So the question is, John wants to use QDS, right? Out of the options, John wants to use QDS. Yes, there's an extra couple dollars an hour related to the travel costs if they come here. We can avoid that if we're willing to sit there and send the personal tax. It's one box, personal property tax returns. We want to send them down to Waterbury. They'll do it on their site and bill us accordingly.
But if we use the Bolton assessor, they will come to our town hall.
She will come to our town hall. And again, I discussed that with him, and that's something that is not what he wants to see happen. I'm just telling you.
Okay, but I'm just saying, we have an assessor,
We could save some money.
a neighboring town will save money.
Yeah.
And not only that, we contract with Bolton, other towns for a lot of, well, for our building department services. I just
want to
think that would
sit
be
there.
the most cost effective.
I do understand what you're saying, and yes, it would save us a couple bucks. The people from QDS, have the experience in the inputting of the software, and I think in this situation, we are now at the 9th of February. We have until the 26th to get a grand list done. It's not like this is going to be a 5-day or 10-day project. It's not going to be that. So I just want to get this done as quickly as possible. And listen, I don't care if we approve both proposals. I don't. I mean, I actually told John I wanted him to use every resource he could to get it done as quickly as he could. He's sitting there saying that it'll be easier for him to manage this if QDS does it. And you can take in, and we can talk about this later, but that's, you understand what I'm saying to you, I hope.
It's QDS, would they be training the new person also? The
Well,
assistant assessor? Is she
So
gonna be learning?
I found out that QDS offers free training if we send them down to their Waterbury facility for training.
Good.
And also John has the individual for the new assistant is not going to start until March 3rd. You know, part of that is because of the timing of him, but I know what John did. I know he sat there and said, I don't have time to train with the limited hours that he has to sit there and he actually told me today he's not going to be, you know, we have to sit there and talk about training when the individual comes on. We're going to have another issue that we have to address. So, but QDS does the training for free if we send them down to the Waterbury, which we would be doing as soon as they get enough information under their belt as to the appropriate questions.
So why are we waiting? Why can't we send the new assistant assessor down to QDS?
Because she's not starting till the 3rd of March.
Well, that's only because John wants that way. Why don't, we don't want it that way.
So wait a minute. We approved hiring John's choice, and he doesn't want her to start until March 3rd. Is that what you just said, Scott?
I don't know if it's totally on him or if it's on the applicant's timing to get out of the current job. I mean, it's a month, Carol. So I'm with you. It's a month. It's a long time.
In the interim, why couldn't she, start in 2 weeks, let's say, and go get some training from QDS in Waterbury?
She could start whenever, as far as I'm concerned. So if we want to sit there and press back on him and tell him to get her to start as early as possible and send her down to QDS, I'm all for it. And listen, he needs to be on. We need to sit there and have a meeting with him, the 5 of us, so you can all hear it.
There's no online option either for training?
For training for QDS, I'll ask that question.
I mean, this day and age, I mean, almost everything I've been taking has been online.
Yeah,
So,
I'll ask that question. But I mean, John didn't even tell us QDS did it for free.
And when did we find out that the motor vehicle grand list information was deleted? Today.
I found out today.
Yes. And when was it originally sent out from DMV?
That'd be a better question to ask John.
Sounds like it wasn't sent out yet. It sounds like you have to download it.
Well, you have to download it, but it's up there for downloading purposes.
Right, yeah.
So there's a delay.
We never downloaded
timing.
it. So
Yes.
Why didn't we download it?
yeah, why didn't John download this? If he did it in Colchester and he knew somebody wasn't there to download it,
Right.
why didn't he just download it and just have it there? That makes no sense to me at all.
Again, we need to, as a group, have a meeting with him.
Yeah, I would like that because I would like to answer why he didn't. If it was available in Colchester, common sense would tell you if you're the assessor, you say, hey, while I'm here, I might as well download this and get it in the database.
Right.
We should talk about this.
We need to have a meeting and we need to talk
in our
about
executive session.
everything. Well, not in our executive session, but we will sit there and have another meeting and I will get it scheduled.
We can't discuss it in an executive session, Scott, because we didn't notify John that we would be discussing it. So we need to
That's
meet
fine.
with
So we're
John.
not going to. So let's just keep moving on. Does anybody else have anything related to the? I'm going to make a motion that we at least approve the QDS proposal.
Second that, Jeff.
I'll make a
Can we
motion.
can we just amend it to just a blanket per hour, not to exceed with an NTE number with a number not to exceed hours, and then just wherever we go with.
If I knew exactly, Jeff, everything that was involved in this, I would tell you that. I don't know what's involved.
Can we set
can't
up
wait another month.
We're not going to wait a month, but can we set up a meeting with the assessor to to talk with him and see. And then, like Jeff says, just do a not to exceed amount. Because
Well,
how much work?
we can
Well,
already
listen,
do the one, we can already do the not to exceed amount Jeff told us it's 110.
Yeah.
no, well,
But total amount, Scott, not $110 an hour. And it's more than that with the travel amount with the people coming
it's
from
even if you
QDS.
sat there, it's $112 an hour. If you sat there and worked 8 hours and you broke the $100 out over an 8 hour timeline, be really honest. They're driving from Waterbury. It's 70 miles up, 70 miles back. Whatever. I'm not really concerned about the $100 for travel. It's a question of we this is a bad situation. It wasn't resolved early enough. It needs to get resolved. We got like 14 days to sit there and get the personal property.
896, 5-day week. How many weeks did he say it's going to be?
It's only 350 property tax returns to input. I am telling you, I cannot believe. I'll tell you what. I'll even call QDS and say, if you got to input 350 returns, how long it would take. But
We need to make a motion tonight about this.
they're not in the business of, this is a group that's getting money from us each year. They're not here to screw us on the hours that they use to put in that information, but we just need to sit there and get this done. So
Finalize something.
we can circle back to this one if I can get an answer. Input 350 personal property tax returns. Okay. I sent a request off for information on that. We're going to come back to this one. So let's move on to 8C. Oh no. 9B. Yeah, discussion and possible action to schedule the town budget meeting on Thursday, April 9th. And this goes into the whole issue of us scheduling meetings that overlap with the Board of Education or the Board of Finance. We need to stop it. So this is a request to move what we currently have on the calendar as a Wednesday, April 9th meeting for the town budget meeting to Thursday, April 9th. So I'll make a motion that we move the town budget meeting from Wednesday, April 8th to Thursday, April 9th.
Second.
And Creme seconded. All right, further discussion? All right, we're gonna go around the horn on this one for vote. Ann Creme?
Aye.
Carol Lee?
Aye.
Jeff Murray?
Aye.
Scott Person? Scott Person is a yes. Jeff McGuire, yes. 5-0. Okay. Item 9C, discussion and possible action on Hoppin' Hodges. It's a road race that uses the trail. It's in our packet. Did I close that? I should have closed that. Where is that in our packet?
Page 16.
Page
I
16.
think.
Mhm.
16 to 17, right?
Yeah.
They're going to rent a porta potty, bottled water, fundraiser, Hoppin' Hodges. Jeff, what information or what do you know about this group?
He's done it. He's been using that location now, I think 5 or 6 years, and he's always given us a donation afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I'd be concerned about and that we may need to help him on is we have a large amount of snow on the rail trail, and I don't know if it's gonna melt by the time that race is gonna happen.
April 5th? Come on, man.
Yeah.
But
it'll be-
that whole area where that hill is, where the Percy Cook Trail is slated to go in, is always shaded, and that's the last place to melt. And it ices a lot, so we may have to, if worst comes to worst, we may have to engage Public Works to run a plow down the rail trail and just clean it off for them.
It's gonna be 40 degrees next Monday.
We still have a lot of snow.
We do.
We got so much snow. I got my snowmobile keeps getting stuck.
There you go.
It's too much for a snowmobile.
Okay. Um, well, we can sit there and deal with that after. I mean,
Yep. I'm just saying that may be a possibility.
okay, he's saying
The winter we're having.
this is year 17 of him using the trail and doing this. So,
Well, it's year 17 of the race. It used to be in Vernon, but they moved it to Andover.
okay. All
So
right.
he's been doing
Anybody
about 4 years. He's the one that gave us the money for the picnic table down there, and so he's always written us a check for I think approximately $500 to $700 every year.
okay.
And
It's a
I have
good
no
guy.
problem using that for the rec commission or for community center, whatever.
Okay, so then I'll sit there and I'll make a motion to authorize or to approve the event permit for the Hoppin' Hodges 5K to be run on April 9th. I believe that was April 5th.
Yep, April 5th. Sorry.
Second,
All right, Carol Lee seconded that motion. Further discussion? All right, Ann Cremay. Ann Cremay is a yes. Carol Lee.
aye.
Scott Person. Oh, sorry. Jeff Murray. Sorry, alphabetical. Sorry. Jeff Murray. Yes. Scott Person. Yes. Jeff McGuire. Yes. Okay. 5-0 on that. Okay. 9D, discussion and possible action on a firewood proposal. Jeff?
Yep. I actually spoke to the Marlboro town manager, and he stated that the public works or any contractor that's doing work in the town of Marlboro, they have an area over by Blish Park. They drop it in this parking area and residents go and cut it up. And he says it's been a significant cost savings for grinding and for their drum. Yeah, I guess they do drum grinding of all their firewood and everything that the public works goes and cuts. He says it hasn't been a problem. He said people seem to be taking it, and like I said, it's a cost savings. I spoke to him about possibly putting it at the transfer station, and he actually thought that was a good idea because if Public Works, we have those. If you've been down by the brush pile, there's two concrete, I guess you call them bunkers, where we used to keep recyclables and other things that are pretty much unused at this point. And if we cleaned them out with the loader and Public Works, when they cut a tree that falls down or do any tree clearing, just go down with a dump and just dump it into that bin. And then during transfer station hours, we let people come in, take what they want, and they can go Wednesdays or Saturdays and grab as much wood as they'd like to, as long as they have a dump sticker and they're a resident. I think it's a cost savings. I think it would be a benefit for the community. People that burn firewood would help some of our residents out. And like I said, when I was talking to him, he said the transfer station would be a great idea because people would go and get rid of their garbage and then they just go down and pick up a load of firewood on their way through and bring it home. So I'd like to try it and see if we can make it work. Because we have a lot of firewood that goes in that brush pile that we're paying to chip up every year. And if we can have people take it and burn it and use it for heat, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Did you have a chance to discuss that with Eric? Just the Public Works, our guys, just to sit there and
No, I
see.
did. I haven't. He just called me today. He got back to me today finally.
All right.
So we had that discussion. If we made a motion on this, I would make it pending approval by Public Works.
Okay. Then let's make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we create a firewood exchange area at the transfer station and one of the concrete bins down by the brush pile, pending Public Works approval.
Second,
Carol Lee seconded. All right, any further discussion on this?
We going to allow residents to use a chainsaw down on the town's property?
If they need to, yeah. I mean, most of the stuff that the town cuts up is they usually cut up in the small pieces or it's log length. I mean, the Marlboro lets the guys cut it up with a chainsaw. And there's a state statute already in Connecticut that there's no liability for property owners.
Municipalities?
Yep, for harvesting firewood. That's why we leave it on the side. Usually they leave it on the side of the road, but if there's an area, we get it with the excavator, throw it in the dump truck, and the guys just go down and dump it in the bin. And then if there's anything like split sections or something they don't get, they can just go in with the loader on a periodic basis and just scoop it up and then throw it in the brush pile. The remnants that we have. And even if town residents cut a tree down and they want to get rid of the wood, they can go down there and dump it. We recycle it.
That would be a good idea too. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of, I mean, I go down to that brush pile all the time and I see good oak and hickory and all kinds of stuff thrown into that pile. So
I don't think putting it in that bin, the concrete bin, is a good idea because you don't want to run to change the in
okay. Well,
and
we can work with
cement,
public,
you know,
we can work with public area works and
put it on the side there
designate-
someplace. There's
yeah,
plenty of room up
designate
there.
area,
Yeah.
an area.
It's a good idea because they were used to be getting rid of all that. The public works used to take it places and give it to people. I think that the town people should be able to have first dibs on it.
Yeah, and like I said, if there's extra stuff that's left over at the end, we just take the loader and we push it in the pile when we do the grinding.
Yeah, chip it up.
Yep.
Big ugly pieces.
Yep.
Okay. So any further discussion on the issue? All right, we'll vote on it. Anne Creme?
Aye.
Aye. Carolee?
Aye.
Jeff Murray?
Aye.
Scott Person? Jeff McGuire, aye. Scott Person was aye, so that's 5-0 as well.
And I will get together with Eric this week or early next week and discuss it with him.
Okay. We have 9E, discussion and possible action on checking account signers. Valerie, what's your reasoning for requesting not to be a signer? You're on mute.
Better?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Sorry. I've been uncomfortable for a couple of months with the fact that there is a protocol that's in effect now. For people who don't know that, probably when the town administrator began, the protocol was put into place to have the general fund checks on the town side signed by the two non-elected people, which was the superintendent and the town administrator. And then likewise, they changed the protocol on the school side so that our general fund checks were also signed by the town administrator and by the superintendent. So I'm guessing that was 2017, maybe 2016. But in the last 4 months or so, the protocol just really has not been followed. And that makes me a bit uncomfortable at the end of the year, swearing to the fact that, to the auditor, that this is in fact the protocol that we follow. So, it's not being followed with fidelity. And so I'd like us just to have the town take care of their checks and we'll take care of our checks. And I need your change to that protocol.
So you need to put yourself on mute while I'm talking. Okay. For me, please. Thank you. Okay, so you're asking because, and just for everybody's understanding, I'm a signer on the account, Caitlin's a signer on the account, the town administrator is a signer on the account, and the superintendent is a signer on the account. So Valerie, I'm just trying to understand you with fidelity. You're sitting there saying that because if need be, I have to sign, that's not acceptable to you?
It's the protocol that's been established for a number of years is that the town administrator and the superintendent sign one another's checks. And in our absence, on the school side, we would have the board chair and or the vice chair sign on behalf of me. And on the town side, in the absence of the town administrator, it would be the first selectman or the second selectman, yes. But the protocol that's been in place was put in place and the auditor thought this was a really good series of checks and balances, which it is. But if it's not going to be with fidelity, where it's just willy-nilly on either side, if it was on
willy-nilly,
it's part of the protocol, for example, is that the checks for example, on the town side, are sent over to me, and there's a cover sheet, and it would say checks 100 to 200. And so I would sign that sheet, and the town administrator would take a copy, I would take a copy, we would keep it filed. It's the check register. So it's 100 to 200. I sign 100 to 200, the town administrator signs 100 to 200. The same thing on the school side. They sign our checks, they keep a copy of that check register, and that's been the protocol. So if I received, and this was, put into effect with audits years ago, Sally before me signed them. So it would be an understanding then that if the system of checks and balances, if I sign checks today and they end in check number 200, that the next set of checks that I would be attesting to and signing my name on the bottom would start with 201 and vice versa. And so it just has not been that it's been every time. And it's not been because of the absence of the town administrator or because of the absence of the superintendent. So there were, checks not in the run that were supposed to be in the run. There was an extra one in there that wasn't on that sheet in the front. And there were, I found out about the fraudulent checks last month at your Board of Selectmen meeting. That was concerning for me, not because they were fraudulent checks, that does happen to businesses, but because I found out about it by looking in the packet and my name was on that check. And so I just think that if we aren't going to follow a protocol with fidelity, then we should change that protocol.
So you're having a problem that someone, and I'll sit there and I'll go myself, was requested to sign checks because they needed a second signature. And because I looked at the information and determined that you got to put yourself on mute. And that I looked at a check and a vendor document, and I determined that I wouldn't sign that check till I got an answer on that, that's not following protocol and fidelity.
No, that isn't, I'm not referring to the bathroom check, Jeff. I'm referring to the fact that there were other checks that were not in there. And then there were extra checks that were not on the check register. I'm not referring to the bathroom at all. This has nothing to do with the bathroom. This has to do with other checks not being in the check run. And listen, I'm not here to tell the Board of Selectmen what to do. That's your side, but I'm not comfortable if I'm part of a protocol, my name is on there, and the protocol is established for a reason, and the protocol is going to change. I'm not comfortable at the end of the year having the auditor assume that we've done it with fidelity when in fact we have not. So the Board of Education does already have a policy from back in 2009 where our signer was the board chair and myself, and that was changed when the town administrator was put into effect. And so this has nothing to do with that one check that you're referring to. It has to do with the other times that protocol is constantly broken.
Well, I'm not comfortable with anyone other than the town administrator and the superintendent signing on a regular basis.
Ask then in the last couple of months why checks have been pulled from the roster, from the run. And I have not received every check to sign.
I don't know any other check. Got to put yourself on mute. I don't know of any other check other than the one check I pulled. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to get with the treasurer and the finance department to understand what checks have been pulled at what time. And if it were pulled, they should have let you know, and they should have crossed them off the list.
Met with you and met with you and Jim in Jim's office. And I had asked about that check. I knew the check from that one run was pulled. And I was told it was pulled aside, and it was a TK elevator check. So
what was
TK elevator. And again, you did let me know that until you had a handle on what your accounts were over there with 2% non-lapsing, I did just get that check on Thursday as well. It's just, I don't understand why protocol is an issue. That is a problem for me. If the protocol is, it's all the checks, then it should be all the checks from the general fund. So that's why I'm asking for this to be considered, because we do have a policy already on our side that it's the chair and the superintendent. But I do know that per the auditor, it was suggested in 2017, 18, when the town administrator position was created, that it was changed. And all I'm saying, Jeff, is it makes me uncomfortable. Why wasn't I notified of the fraudulent checks? Because if the situation was reversed, I absolutely would have sent that over for somebody to be notified with their name signature on there. I did ask for a copy of those checks. So yeah, the board can decide, the Board of Selectmen can decide what they would like to do, but I protocol has not been followed with fidelity.
I'm not going to sit there and tell you that I think it's in the best interest of the town to change what the auditor suggested. Anybody want to make a motion to move in a different direction?
I want it noted then that I agree.
It'll be in the minutes. Okay, we all good? Anybody on the board want to do anything? Okay, we're going to move on to 9F. Discussion and action on the joint Board of Finance Board of Selectmen meeting that is scheduled for Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, which is the 10th. I'm going to recommend that we speak to, I will speak to the Robert England and sit there and get that meeting moved, because I think it's important that the members of the Board of Finance and the members of the Board of Selectmen who attend the Board of Education meeting have the opportunity to go to that meeting. And that is something that we have to do a better job. I have to do a better job of making sure meetings do not overlap, because it's not appropriate. And I know we have a whole email chain that we're all on, that members of the Board of Finance are asking that that meeting be moved. So I make a
Time to
motion.
change it at this point?
We're going to have to make it a special meeting. It's going to have to be moved to a different day. It can be moved to Thursday now. We would have time if we sat there and posted the agenda for Thursday. And Carol, let me know if that's correct. 2 days, right?
Or what? To send a mailer out? Is that what you're
No,
asking?
no. This is just a joint meeting of the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen. It's not a town meeting. It's just to sit there and review the initial review of the budget.
It's just 24 hours, the same as all
24
other
hours.
meetings. Yes.
Okay, so it's already posted on the town clerk's board right now. It's something that um, um, we're gonna have to get with Robert England and just make sure that, the day, whatever day would be good for him, and we just need to reschedule. We could either reschedule for Thursday or we could reschedule for another day. Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff, it looks like I was just looking at the calendar, and it looks like there's a joint meeting on the 11th that we're talking about, and then there's another one on the 18th.
Correct. There's a requirement within the charter change that was done that 2 meetings be held.
Okay. I'm just trying to decide if we could. Trying to see what other dates we have. Yeah, because the Board of Finance regular meeting's on the 25th.
Yep.
So, not a lot going on the 12th. I just don't know if everybody can make it. That's all.
Well, that's the whole thing, and
It's a lot of it's a short notice. That's short notice.
Yeah, it's not the best. Definitely not the best. It's something that we need to look at. So, but I don't think that we should.
Yeah, next Tuesday's P and Z.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, listen. Let me sit there and get with Robert England and find out if we can sit there and if what day he would. Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to make a recommendation. I'm going to make a motion that we cancel, we reschedule the meeting, the joint Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen meeting for scheduled for Wednesday, February 11th.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussions on that issue? All right. Anne, how do you vote?
Yes,
Was that yes or no?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Carolee?
Just canceling it.
Yeah, reschedule. Aye. Jeff Murray,
Aye.
Scott Person. Scott's an aye. Jeff McGuire, aye. 5-0, and I will reach out to um, Robert England.
Jeff, as a suggestion, we have to do 2 meetings now. Could we do that on the Board of Finance regular meeting night? Could we do a special meeting like an hour ahead of that, their regular meeting? Or make it part of their regular meeting? We just do our follow-up stuff from, if we just do next week and then we meet with them at their regular meeting, would that suffice?
That would, and honestly, Jeff, that's really probably a very good idea because you can sit there and it will give Elisa some additional time and us some additional time to review it. So uh, I'll make that recommendation.
Yeah, because then that way we don't have to reschedule anything. We could just use the existing meetings and just get the two done in that time frame.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the only people that will be, impacted would be us because they're going to meet anyway. So
Okay. Two before. When is their regular meeting?
give me 1 second.
The 25th.
It's 25th, yes. And they just have a schedule from 7 to 9.
Okay. All right. So that was the end of new business. We're now moving on to approval of minutes. We have the minutes in there for 12/22. We do not have minutes for 1/12. I have to get onto that with Maria and sit there and see where we're at. And we're gonna have to find some alternatives, I would think, to sit there and get our minutes done in a more timely affair. I asked Jim. Jim had some people that he had an opportunity to he had some people that live in town that actually did some work for Wyndham for maintenance. So I've asked him to reach out to them to sit there and see if maybe we need to make some adjustments on who is taking the minutes, and that's if Marina really wants to do them, since we did not approve the employee versus subcontractor issue in her favor. So we have the minutes there for 12/22. Does anybody have any issues with those? They start on page 19 of the packet. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for 12/22/2025.
Second.
Any further discussion? Anne, how do you vote?
Aye.
Anne votes aye. Carolee?
Aye.
Scott, Jeff Murray?
Aye.
Scott Person?
Aye.
Jeff McGuire, aye. So 5-0 on the approval of the minutes, and I will sit there and find out where we're at for the 1/12 meeting.
Jeff, I just want to get back to that real quick as I was looking at the calendar. If you talk to Rob England, it looks like March 11th. There's a Board of Finance budget meeting and a Board of Education regular meeting as well.
Okay. He
So we're
actually got to me. He said if we can get attendance and still comply with the schedule and the charter, he's open to it. So
Okay.
let's sit there and initially push for that. And then if we have to do a special meeting and and take it on a different day, we will. But if we can get
Yeah,
if we can do that, that's a great idea because then the Board of Finance doesn't have to schedule another meeting.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about that conflict on the 11th. If there's Board of Finance members that want to go to the Board of Education meeting, that's also going to happen on the 11th of March.
Okay, I'll let him know that.
Mm.
Well, actually, his people can. Yeah. Uh, oh, sorry. Okay. Anybody, I know that we talked to the treasurer before, but does anybody have any information or anything that they want to address that I can bring to her related to the treasurer's report that goes from 22 to 40?
No.
Okay. A tax collector report, item 12, it goes from page 42. Anybody have any questions related to the tax collector's report? So we received in the month of January $1.6 million in taxes collected. We have from pages 44 through 61, the largest taxpayers who owe money.
Same ones, nothing's changed there.
Yeah. Nothing's changed. Okay. Departmental reports, I know because Kate was leaving, I'm sure she did not get a lot of these accumulated. She did get one for the fire department. She did get the information for um, the permits and really we've got to get a better handle on these permits and the dollar fees because there's no costs on a lot of these things. Um,
I called the town of Bolton, the building department up there, the building inspector, and talked to him about two of them that I had questions about. And he said he'll look into them. He said when he looked at them initially that he did think that there was something up with it. He was going to investigate those two.
okay.
And he never got back to me yet. The ones this month seem right, seem fine.
Okay. And then we had Department of Public Works. Eric gave us his report. Like I said, there's just way too many of these events happening on the weekends. It's killing us from an overtime perspective. Um, just a lot of snow but the group seems to have done a good job. I see the smaller truck out there.
Really over overtime by like $3,800, I think, right?
Good.
Which is a lot, I guess, but not for all that work that they did.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, has anyone had any complaints other than mailboxes?
If they only got 12, this is something I could tell you from historically. They only got 12, they did really good. Because I can remember plowing in the blizzard that there was like 20 or 25 just at the lake that got hit.
And what happens is a lot of the posts are rotten and they just get knocked down anyway.
Yeah.
Some of them are just, they're on their way out and the snow does them in. And we have a policy, we have a mailbox policy.
We do.
Right.
We wrote it after that last big storm we had about 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Well, during our time, yeah.
Yeah, sometime in there we did it.
Jeff McGuire, do you remember the Town Aid Road cash report? We used to get that every month, didn't we? A detailed document, I think I remember, about all the money that was spent out of that account.
Yeah, we did. We got, we have, we had received more information, Scott, and I'm gonna sit there and try to make sure that the information, I'm gonna work with the treasurer to make sure that the information that is made available to us is more consistent and more thorough.
It was scribbled on something, but I can remember we got a document every month about that.
There were a lot of things that we got different information on. We need
Yeah,
to get back to.
we don't have enough information.
I mean, listen, we at least know what's moving out of the account. Like if you sit there and you go to pages 37 through 40, that's actually a summary of the transactions. And you can
Yeah.
ask what they are and what they're for. I mean, Casella Waste, we know that's a transfer station. You know, you have all of these transactions that are in here that what I would like to get to is that the treasurer is online and has access into the information. And if you have a question, she answers your question immediately with the access to it. Um, so, but a lot of these, because of just historical information, we kind of know what they are. Um, there's nothing there's nothing that really jumps out at me in this cycle that is off.
Maybe if we can get the information a little bit earlier too,
Absolutely.
rather than Thursday, last hour of the day. And then if
Mhm.
we have questions, if we don't have time on Monday to go in,
Mhm. No, and that's the whole point, Carol, is if what I want to get to and what I've asked is that the information that is prepared for the Board of Finance meeting, which would have been prepared for by um, the 25th, would sit there and then be presented to us the following week, so that we would have that information. Um, we're going to get there. I mean, there's just some changes that have been made to staffing and people that are more willing to sit there and provide what you need. But to be really honest, Carol, the biggest thing within this town is lack of information on all fronts,
yes, I agree.
all fronts. So, um, but yeah, okay. Um, the last section in this is the library has provided us an information for January as to the transactions and what they have accomplished at the library. So the librarian's report for January is included on page 84. So anybody have anything related to that? Okay. All right, we're going to move on to item 14, correspondence. There's none, and we're going to move on to item 15, public speak. So we're going to go through our residents before we move to so we'll move on to people. So Tess Grouse,
I'm all set, sir.
okay. Diane Grenier,
Oh, I'm all set. Thank you very much.
Kimberly Prasad,
All set, thank you.
Liz Lokech.
I'm all set. Thanks for dealing with that issue.
All right.
Appreciate you all.
Yep, Joanne Hebert,
I'm all set, thank you.
Stephen King,
Just want to say that the town crew, I believe, did a great job cleaning up, and that's about it. Thank you.
okay. Leanne Hutchinson,
I'm also all set.
all right. Louise Goodwin,
Yes, I got a question about the Andover's Finest program. I haven't heard too much about that, and I was just wondering if I read on it, and I think there's supposed to be a quarterly meeting from the Board of Selectmen. And has there been any activity on that since last year?
We didn't have anyone that put in names for us to review in January.
But last year, though, I I actually did one last year, last quarter, and I checked the meeting minutes, and I didn't see any activity on it.
Right, we were supposed to get new submissions, though they're going to be confidential.
Louise, resubmit that, to the town administrator's assistant, and we'll sit there and look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, Marcy Minor,
No, thank you.
okay. And then I believe that phone number is is Leanne Hutchinson's. So did I miss anyone? Tess Grouse, sorry. Did you say no?
Said no, thank you, sir.
No, thank
She
you,
did?
sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, so did I miss anyone? Okay, thank you for everybody for attending. I'm going to sit there and put you in the waiting room so that we can move into executive session. So I'm going to make a motion that we move into executive session to discuss the town administrator interview process. Somebody may second it. Ann Cremay seconded that. All right, all in favor? Can I say 5-0? Yeah, 5-0. Great. All right, everybody, thank you. If you can drop off, or I'll put you in the waiting room.
Are we in executive session? Not yet.
Yes, I need to, not yet. I'm
Okay,
trying
all
to
right.
move everybody around. So let me stop that. We're gonna start the recording. So we've exited executive session at 9:08 on Monday, February 9th. And our final item on the agenda is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Who's
Second
seconding
that.
that? Scott Person seconded. So Jeff Murray made the motion, Scott Person seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
5-0. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, good night.
See you guys. Yep.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.